September 9th.
Let's go.
From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, Frank Grillo, with Gina Grad on news and Bald Bryan on sound effects. And now, hoping Newsom will be recalled, but not recalled fondly, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get it on. Mandate you get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
And birthday boy, Bald Bryan.
That's just a waste of my time.
Modern day.
I used to hearing that.
Well, we will get into a little health update with Bryan and his birthday as well. First, a note from yesterday. I was jotting down on my buck slip. I kind of forgot about it, but I was sitting in first class with the seat in front of me on my lap, eating something that was from a box, and I was reminiscing about the old Sky magazines that they used to have.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Well, maybe the Sky Mall, but they also had their American Airlines
sure. Every airline had
Presents.
their own
Everyone had their own
version.
periodical, right?
Sure.
And at some point, they do an expose on Chef Lazar. And they'd show a picture of him in his American Airlines chef smock, like dutifully working, like creating culinary delights for you who shall enter this airplane. And they'd get a little of his mission statement and where
his training, his background.
Born in Spain, but went to a Michelin-rated restaurant
Loved
in
Jose
France.
Andres, went to work for him for free.
Right. And then
Farm to Sky.
Farm to Sky. They had a big lobsters laid out.
Farm to tray table.
Beautiful cuts of beef and stuff. I miss that fucking guy so much.
No, he's long gone.
He is gone, Daddy, gone. Man, is that guy gone.
They don't want to highlight the differences.
They would do like these beautiful food porn exposés on those guys, and you would read about it. And
where he sources ingredients from.
Right, and then you were like, ooh, I wonder what offerings the chef is, what bounty has he offered up for this flight?
Tuck your napkin into your shirt.
It is now a box filled with smaller boxes.
I have no
inside
doubt
of it.
the airlines no longer have executive chefs. There's no doubt about that. Do you think the person like in charge of the food is just like a suit, just like EVP of food?
Now.
That person's got to be, first off, there's no full-time job for that person anymore.
That's
He's
someone's
like,
sidekick.
Yeah, he's like, look, I wrap here at noon. I got to get to the Dade County Prison where I lay out the menu for those folks.
That's their specialty.
And if they have some stuff left over, I can bring it back and we'll get it up into the sky. But no way can there be that executive chef gig anymore for an airline. All right. So, Bryan, you're turning what age today?
Oh, Jesus. Born in 78, so 43.
43 years of age.
Yeah. Ginny, you should hope to get there
I
someday.
can't wait.
Oh, man. Yeah, just give it, you blink your eyes and 11 years goes by and you'll be at 43.
Tell me all about it.
So, when were you diagnosed? Were you 29?
Chris, we're just talking about that today. It was I was already 30 because I got engaged on my 30th birthday, September of 08, and diagnosed in April of 09. So I was, just turned 30.
And so the prognosis now, any health updates?
I'm thankful to say that the health updates are all boring. I had an MRI a couple of weeks ago, and it came back stable. Everything looks very normal, or normal as for, no growth. And the doctor was especially happy with the clinical evidence. You guys, you know what that is? Like when he goes in, he looks how I'm walking, how my facial symmetry is a big one, because that was the first indicator that the tumor may have been, growing again, because my smile was a little crooked, or I was having trouble blinking my right eye. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, and not that my face ever has been perfect, but when I went in last time, he's like, "Face looks great. Your smile is even again. It's symmetrical. This is all evidence that things are working and things are going well."
So you don't have to go back on that godforsaken medicine.
Stivarga was the medicine I was on last year, and it is significantly worse than the medicine I'm on now, which lowers my white blood cell count. I mentioned this before, and it makes me I'm so fucking tired all the time. I'm tired all the time. I have like leukemia effects. It's like what happens when your white blood cell count drops to a dangerous level. I'm so tired, but I'll take it any day over last year when I was a wreck. It was bad news.
Well, speaking of celebrations, I'm getting ready to head off to Katie Kimmel's wedding.
No shit. I remember when they first launched Jimmy Kimmel Live, he had his office rigged with a bunk bed so his two kids could like sleep over or like take naps or whatever.
Yeah, he had a bunk bed in his office.
That's crazy.
Also, I think he banged interns there as well, but
sense.
I don't know.
Well,
so I don't want to. I think. I said I think.
It's only getting used for sleep 1 hour a day.
So, so she is 30. Jeez. So I was trying to do the math. So I think I met her I must have met her in 94 because I went to, so I met her when she was 3, I guess. Those are the early days when Jimmy rented a house in the West Valley. And probably very shortly after I met Jimmy, I went to his home. And one of the reasons I went to his home was just to have him cook for me, which started a tradition that hasn't ended to this day. But I also went over there because, in a world where who knows what becomes of what, we're talking about 94. I'm a boxing coach, essentially, at this point in my life, and a carpenter. And so Jimmy says, what do you have? Do you have anything you can show me? Like a stand-up tape, a reel, something.
Yeah, give us your sizzle, your demo.
Acting on something.
Adam starts dancing.
Doing something.
Starts tap dancing.
So I was like, all I have is this thing I did in the Eagle Rock Public Access. I did a Eagle Rock Public Access show that was as crude as it can be. It was like a home improvement show where people called in and I jokingly answered their questions. And it ended up sort of turning into what Bircham became. But I had this cassette from several years earlier, and I was like, well, this is all I got. And I showed it to Jimmy, and it didn't, obviously there was no production involved. There was really nothing involved with it. But he could see who I was and what I did and what I could do and my improv abilities and things like that. And so I went over to his home probably a few days before his fight. So I'd probably only known him for a week, maybe a week and a half. And I made the pilgrimage out to his house, and I left the cassette with him, and he was duly impressed. Now, again, the thing about Jimmy is he didn't think, oh, this is a TV show. He thought, well, that person's got something that might translate into other venues.
Yeah, we can use that.
I never really get that. Like I said, I always had a good sense of humor. And when I see Sonny's friends, I see the one with the sense of humor. I go, that kid's sharp. I don't know what it's going to translate into. I just know the kid's lucid and has some ability and is awake. So I went over there, very small 2-bedroom. It was a small 2-bedroom in Woodland Hills or something like that. It was off the back. The back was an alley, which always sucks because you don't want that alley because people just hop over the fence when the cop helicopter comes out and they land on your barbecue and stuff like that.
I had an apartment that backed up against an alley, and we heard all manner of drunken vomiting at all hours of the night.
Raccoons fighting.
I had an alley rental house and an alley apartment, and the alley is basically that is El Chapo's tunnel for people that don't really want to just walk up and down the boulevards. I had the alley behind Laurel Canyon, well lit and well trafficked. So if you're somebody with a past or something to hide, you would take the alley that ran parallel behind my apartment and not the main boulevard where the ex-wife could have spotted you, the popo, the dog catcher, whoever's federal marshals.
Any number of businesses you stiffed.
Right. And then I moved to another house across Laurel Canyon, had another alley, and yes, people would hop over the fence and land in your backyard. So I went over there. Katie was 3. So she was just sort of running around. Kevin, his son, must have been 1, something. He was in a diaper. Wow. And I I recall, this could have been from another visit, but I do recall his teenage, trying to think what John, his younger brother seemed to be in his teens, came over with his mom and packed a Playboy, and his mom had gone through his suitcase and found it and was disturbed, disappointed, and outraged. I remember walking into that, but I remember this very, very modest little rental house with Jimmy driving an old RX-7 with a bondoed up fender, and things were very different back then. And now we're heading out this weekend to celebrate Katie's wedding.
Wow.
So we got time marches on, man. Okay. Whether it's Bryan and the tumor or Katie and the marriage.
I was thinking,
yes.
you've been a big influence on my life in a lot of ways, but especially in some of the things you say and the way you look at the world and interpret events. You know what I mean? Synthesize events. And one of the things that I think about a lot is Achievement Day versus, birthday. Mm-hmm. Everyone has a birthday, blah, 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 Achievement Day. Everyone who listens to this is familiar. And it occurred to me, and I was thinking about it, I have no idea what day my book Shrinkage hit the New York Times bestseller. I have no idea what day I beat cancer, either time. I have no idea what day I was the chairman of the LA Brain Tumor Walk.
We get it. You're successful.
I'm not done yet. No. I don't remember the day I won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Oh, you get the idea. But in a weird way, my birthday is kind of my achievement day. You know what I mean? Like being here another year, celebrating another year around the sun, as they say.
You're the exception to the achievement day.
This feels, not that I did much, but I survived.
You survived.
I'm here.
Hey, Chris, I know you don't have a lot in the way of achievement days.
Yeah.
Maybe we make Brian's birthday your achievement day.
That feels really weird.
As a placeholder. No, just until you do something.
This feels like a pretty good achievement day.
Yeah, I'm saying here he is. Man. You're the producer of the show. Yes. And, again, you got a marriage coming up, so maybe we could swap it out then. Possibly.
I'm glad I could celebrate with all of you.
Yeah, there'll be a cooling off period before we swap it out.
Sure.
But I'm saying for now, in lieu of not having any achievements, let's just make Brian's.
Hey, Chris, you're welcome.
Thanks. I'll take it.
Happy birthday to both of you.
All right. So
Achievement Day.
Somebody tweeted me a Coors beer football commercial, and it was from 2002.
Oh.
But I thought, like, in a land where, the NFL was running a commercial a few months back saying the NFL's gay and the NFL's bi-curious and everything else like that.
I don't remember it just like that.
What?
And there was a whole thing. Did you ever see that?
I don't
the
think
NFL's gay? No.
Oh, it was.
I feel like that would have crossed my radar.
Like a gay friendly,
there was.
Advocacy.
It was about. God, I think it was about 6 months ago. But it was like the NFL is, and then they just wrote gay, and then they wrote LGBT or lesbian or something, and then they wrote a whole bunch of stuff. But it started off with the NFL being gay.
Oh.
I just stopped it at that.
Jeff Garcia was the spokesman.
Yes, that's right. Allegedly. So, but in all the good vibes and the mixed couples and everything's just about good vibes and or chicks taking a dump and all the stuff we couldn't have talked about. But 2002, not that long ago in terms of history and zeitgeist and the way things roll. Somebody tweeted me this Coors commercial, which I'll play for you guys. It'll work over the pod because you'll just see a bunch of guys chugging beer and chicks shaking their ass is basically what it is. But listen to the music and listen to the attitude.
I love
and twins.
Two-hand touch.
That's right.
Eating way too much. Watching my team win. With the twins. I love quarterbacks eating dirt, pom-poms and short skirts, fans who won't quit, and those twins. And I love them too. Here's the football.
The Limp Bizkit era for anyone who wasn't around.
Right.
I've never seen Dawson more elated for any reason than watching that commercial.
At least half those hits are illegal now.
Is that Kid Rock? That sounds like Kid Rock.
Or
Or
a dupe.
it's a feel alike or sound alike. they always steal footage from the Canadian Football League.
Oh, really?
If you ever notice on the things where you go, I don't recognize those uniforms.
Oh, because they're not official sponsors.
Yeah, you go, that wasn't the Rams playing the Denver Broncos.
CFL.
Yeah, they go to the CFL and they get footage from that.
Who are the twins? Were they a thing?
So there was a earlier version of this, maybe the year before, where like the guy was like almost stumbling for words, like I love this, I love that, and twins, and then it was like the two girls shaking their ass.
I
thought
that was
twins
kind of
became a thing.
That ad, as you've mentioned about things before, it may have seemed a little crass or edgy. That was so quaint and adorable. I could watch it all day.
Well,
overeating and loving these twin girls. Oh, what a time to be alive.
There was also, it just popped in my head, but
twins.
Chris can look for the NFL being gay first, but there was another Pepsi, Doritos, Coors ad where the two chicks fought in the fountain. Remember that one famously?
Oh, didn't they like fall into the fountain?
Yes, yeah. I mean, they just
started writhing.
It was on. Yeah. I don't normally do this, but I will say the Man Show had something to do with that. We had twins. Okay. We had Juggy Dance twins and the Juggy Dance Squad, and the general temperament of the Man Show may have spilled out into the zeitgeist a little bit, because those are the kinds of commercials we're getting. Now,
but yours were a joke.
And twins.
I know. Ours were a joke. But they're not nuanced, Madison Avenue Coors. I also Max Zapata. So I found another favorite Subaru commercial to go up against this one. I don't know if you have the dogs driving the car one, but there are a bunch of dogs driving a Subaru. They're dogs.
Retrievers or something.
They're driving the car down the street.
They're doing really good.
They're doing good. They got the puppy.
There's a puppy.
Puppy in the back that come across the bulldog who's driving the 18-wheeler.
That's a boxer, man.
They're talking. The boxer. Sorry. Gets the horn honk. They do.
That's great.
Where are the twins? Where are the twins?
Dog approved.
Dog approved. Your dog. Your dog has approved your next vehicle.
Times have changed.
Oh, that's good.
I remember back when I would consult with my dog as to what vehicle I should lease next.
You take your dog, he kicks the tire, he licks the tire.
Yeah, licking the tires.
The top Max battle, which we missed, which was an insane warning: do not attempt.
Don't do that with your dog at home.
Your dog drive the car.
Let's see. Professional drivers.
These are dogs.
Always secure your pets.
Well,
they're all secure.
This is a very mixed message, I would say, because you got the dogs behind the wheel, but all right.
The reveal of the puppy in the car seat is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
So I said, Chris, find me a Subaru commercial from yore. Find me one from 1981, and he found one, and this is the difference.
Off-roading?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, mountains.
Most commercials, the cars start up here with some help from a helicopter. But these babies from Subaru don't need help. They can switch from front to four-wheel drive, and for tougher
chugging up a hill, throwing dust and gravel.
Station wagon, man. That thing's hauling ass.
But all Subaru four-wheel drive cars even look good getting up here. Subaru, inexpensive, and built to stay that way.
Adorable.
Now we have to vet the Subaru with your dog. And the twins are gone.
If I'm not mistaken, there may even be one. I don't even know if I can get through this sentence. Isn't there a Subaru commercial where the guy is taking his dog on a trip for the dog's last day?
Oh, yeah. Look,
that sounds
I feel like I've seen it, and if I haven't seen it, it is being made as we speak.
It's in your mind's eye.
Yeah. All right. If you find the NFL is gay, you can show me Max Zapata.
Yeah, we're pulling it up.
All right. So Chris, I think, was listening to Bill Maher, and they had a guest on who was sort of talking about the death of language, which is something I've been drilling down on. It's been around for a while. I noticed it years ago when I do Loveline. It was, rape victim, rape survivor, got changed to survivor. It was deaf, became hearing impaired. There was a lot of stuff that was getting switched. And I remember at the time kind of thinking, this feels unnecessary. I was around long enough to go from Mexican to Chicano to Hispanic to now Latinx. You know, I know the cultural stuff shifts and changes all the time. But I'll play this clip that Chris grabbed from Bill Maher.
They're talking about that professor in Portland who quit because he thought colleges were getting too woke, and a couple other professors. And he says, and so here's Bill asking what this guy George F. Will thinks about it. George is a Pulitzer Prize columnist and Washington Post writer. Yeah.
What do you think is going to be the repercussions for the next election from this issue?
Well, Orwellian is an overused adjective, but here it applies. In 1984, Orwell said, watch the language because it becomes turned inside out. In 1984, love meant hate, war meant peace, and on campus today, diversity means enforced conformity. Because we have, through the magic of modern parenting, and isn't it interesting that parent became a verb right before this began to happen? Modern parenting.
People never said parent is a verb.
I disagree with that.
It was very recent.
Yeah, I don't remember that as a. I remember being.
Now we are skillful at parenting, and this produces a kind of perfectionist parenting. That if you're really skillful at it, no one who's had children believes this, but people who don't. If you're really good at parenting, you'll produce the perfect child to which you are entitled.
Right.
So again, the language. I wasn't interested in the parenting part, but I was interested in the language part. And I started thinking about it. So something I told Chris to pull from a week ago, which is the whole we spa thing, which is when you're now saying what went on at the we spa, you have to say a male, sorry. You have to say a female walked in to the female locker room, which again, it's like, well,
that's
then
not a story.
What's going on? And then she had what appeared to be male genitalia, and it's like, well, what the fuck? And now your head is starting to swim. But there's two versions of it. One was Andy No, who was careful to, when he was talking about, kept saying she. Mm-hmm. Although the controversy was the dick in the beard or the dick and whatever was swinging around over there. And then there was an article in which publication was it that I saw?
We got the Guardian and the LA Times here as well.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you do the Guardian first?
The Guardian said, person charged with indecent exposure at LA spa after viral Instagram video. Charges filed 2 months after woman's claim about We Spa sparked anti-trans protests.
All right, so that was the black woman who came and complained, right?
Yes.
All right, so she's a woman.
Los Angeles authorities have charged a 52-year-old with indecent exposure at a popular Korean spa that was the subject of a viral Instagram post earlier this summer. The LA Police Department announced late on Thursday that it had put out an arrest warrant for Darren Merriger, who is now facing 5 felony counts of indecent exposure at We Spa in the Koreatown neighborhood. The charges, filed on Monday, came 2 months after a viral Instagram video from a woman who filmed herself confronting We Spa staff about seeing a, quote, man naked in front of women and girls in the women's section of the
man is the part.
Sure.
Now, that makes it seem like she's nuts because the quote man, it was a man. The person did not transition. It does not matter what you think of yourself. You have to go get certified. That's the new world we're living in.
I agree. In Andy's article, he said she was legally a woman.
Right. Well, no, I don't know if he said she was legally a woman. He said he said he referred to her as she, but I don't know. Did he say legally a woman?
In the New York Post, I read it a few times. Andy No, I'm trying to get the pronouns right here. Andy No said that the suspect was legally a woman in California.
Right, but that's only because he declared himself a woman. I mean, I think Andy is being careful and or respectful, but his article, he referred Andy. See what happens.
The same trouble.
Andy referred to
this person
as a she because this person declared themselves she or looked at themselves as she. But now, again, it's, you can find that article or find his tweet or whatever it was. But again, she went into the locker room, so it's kind of like, well, where's the crime
what's
here?
the story?
And then it's there. He went into the locker room, quote, he. Now, what are we talking about? It's language. And language moves things around, gets everything super fuzzy and blurry and confusing. And now if you read these articles, you'd be totally confused as to what actually went on. Do you have the Andy No thing? Sorry,
well,
Chris.
I have the excerpt from the New York Post article. It says, quote, everything about the Wii Spa was a bunch of garbage and lies, unquote. Manager said in an interview. She says she is legally female in California and was in a jacuzzi in the women's section. So
she says.
Yeah.
Which is different than Andy says. Andy's accusing her of not being that. But the point is she says. But again, then what's the kerfuffle about if she goes into the locker room, in the women's locker room? I'm just saying it's getting really fuzzy. It's getting fuzzy fast. I also have a couple of clips because I have Corey Bush referring to women as birthing people now because now we got to draw a distinction between the guy who went into Wii Spa
and someone who
and our moms
has the pipes.
Right.
Sorry,
right.
I was thinking of the NASCAR driver, but that's Kyle Busch.
Yes. A little bit different approach.
A skosh.
Sorry, here it is.
Committed to doing the absolute most to protect black mothers, to protect black babies, to protect black birthing people.
All right, so that's birthing people, and then that gave way to AOC's version of this, which is now we're way into the weeds here. Here she is on Anderson Cooper.
This is about making sure that someone like me as a woman or any menstruating person in this country cannot make decisions over their own body.
Okay, so now we have to think. Now, first, it's like, are you on your period when you're getting this designation or this title, or you're just capable of a period? But now we have birthing people, menstruating people as well. And
how long before a group of women get together and say, excuse me, we can't have children?
I had a hysterectomy.
I was going to say.
So how dare you?
And doesn't this eliminate older, menopausal women?
Are we not women anymore?
It's very confusing. So I would argue that we just go back to men and women for the time being. We can sort it out. And if you have transitioned or even transitioning, not in your head, physically transitioning one way or the other, then you can get the new title.
And I don't think it's a lot to ask ultimately that if you're going to a public spa, that if you're in the women's part of the spa, you don't have an erection. I think we can just all agree on that.
I don't know that I could guarantee anything, but I'll try.
Okay.
Also, it's not that much to ask that you just join your own for the brief period of time that you're in there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, let's just say hypothetically, somebody said to me, magically, Kazoo from the Flintstones. They added Kazoo later on in season whatever. Like, he came down and he just said, hey, dum-dum, because that's the way he spoke. And let's say I was at the Natalia's volleyball game and I was going to the bathroom. And I thought, I'm going to head into the men's bathroom where I normally go. And then Kazoo tapped me on the shoulder and said, I cast a spell on everyone. They will see you as a woman. This is how they will see you. So if, in fact, you want to use the bathroom, I would suggest you go use the women's room, in which case I'd go, but Kazoo, I'm a man. He'd go, yes, dum-dum, but this is how this is how everyone in the bathroom's going to see. I think I could pull off going into the ladies' room and shutting the door in the stall and taking care of my own business. And I would say the same to this fella / gal when it comes to the spa. You head into the men's room, hold your nose, take a quick shower, and then go out and get a rub and possibly tug.
Maybe.
Rub either way.
The far end of the
or maybe a rub and poke.
Yeah.
All right. We have NFL's gay. We'll have the fountain.
Stop saying it.
We have the fountain as well.
Oh, good.
This is all coming
Which one do you
your
want?
way. I will go with the NFL's gay.
All right.
Football is GAY.
Gay. Lesbian. Beautiful.
Queer, life, exciting, transgender, culture, bisexual.
All right. I could never keep up with it, but it was NFL is gay and accepts everyone.
Wow. Where did that air? Just on the NFL Network, I imagine?
It was on, I guess it was on the NFL Network. That was about 6 months ago.
This was after, what's his name, Carl Nassib came out online, so they did this for like the Trevor Project to get and they got a lot of donations and everything.
All right, now let's cleanse our palate with chicks in 2001 fighting in a fountain. I always remember this one because
Miller Lite tastes
two hot chicks.
Yeah, but I drink it because it's less filling.
And one of the chicks auditioned for the Juggy Dance Squad.
Which one?
The brunette. So ripping each other's blouses off and fighting in a fountain. Panties.
That would make a great commercial. Who wouldn't want to watch that?
Life is best told over a great tasting Miller Lite at a place called Miller Time.
Mud wrestling. Could you imagine pitching that? Like going up to Madison Avenue now. Christy would know. And just go, I'm going to picture two hot chicks stripping each other.
I like the lampshade with the two dudes who were like fantasizing and the girls kind of look at them like you idiots. But yeah, that's T-Day.
All right, we got trending topics coming our way. First, I'll tell you about Simply Safe wireless outdoor security camera. Oh, yeah. Big news. Simply Safe just launched their new wireless outdoor security camera. The system, U.S. News and World Report named the best security of 2021. Well, it got better. Engineered with the advanced technology and security features to help keep your family safe. Ultra-wide, 140-degree field of view to keep watch over your entire yard. 1080p HD resolution and 8x zoom, as you can clearly see and capture critical evidence like faces, license plates, and things like that. Built-in spotlight with color night vision and two-way audio to talk or even scare off somebody who is on your property. Simple to set up, takes minutes, easy to remove, rechargeable battery, doesn't need an outlet. So to learn more, visit simplysafe.com/Adam, and you get the new camera and 20% off your entire new system with your first month of monitoring service free when you enroll in interactive monitoring. That is simplysafe.com/Adam, and get the 20% off. All right, quick break. Back with trending topics right after this.
His real name's Lots of
All right, happy birthday, Brian.
Thanks, man.
All right, so got some topics today. First off, I was thinking about the topic of grip, Adam.
Grip.
Yeah, you love grip.
It's the number one quality in an action star. Everyone always talks about, strength or perseverance or flexibility or throwing kicks or throwing punches or handling a piece. That is true, but it's all stuff mortal men can do. There are plenty of guys in the UFC. There are plenty of guys in special forces. There are plenty of guys who can handle a weapon and handle themselves and handle a knife. There is nobody who can fall off a 25-story building and then 4 stories from the base grab a flagpole and snatch it. Or launch themselves from the rooftop pool and grab a cable that's swinging from the bottom of it. It's the grip. The grip is the fakest part of all action. It's all grip. Now, here's the thing about grip. It's super spindly dudes who climb El Capitan. The guys who do the free climbing and stuff, there's none of those guys are over $150 sopping wet. There's no guys built like Schwarzenegger because you can't have 230 pounds of that mass.
Yeah, hang on with your fingertips.
Yes, just fingertip. And by the way, when you talk any genre, it could be, a Bond genre or an action or Captain
Good
America
grip in the
or
new
whatever.
Bond trailer. Good grip.
They always do this weird highlight of the grip. The grip. You know what the grip kind of is? The grip sort of suggests they want it more than we do. You know what I mean? Because it's always like, hang on! Yeah. And who amongst us could grab onto a ledge with like one hand and then hold a beautiful starlet in the other? Like, hang on! I'm going to swing you up to safety. Like, no.
Yeah.
There's a lot of windows busted on the 50th floor and guys being dragged out by the vacuum or something, and they're grabbing on, and they just grab that little ledger at the end where the glass goes into the U channel that they're hanging on. Yes, grip. Grip. It's the fakest part of any action movie.
Lots of grip in Frank Grillo's previous movie, Boss Level. Also, I just saw Shang-Chi, the new Marvel movie. Lots of grip. There's a 50th floor fight that spills out of the building, and thank God there's scaffolding there.
Right.
Scaffolding comes in very handy.
You know what genre of human being has the best grip? If we're even, I mean, obviously it's not movie level, but who has the best grip? Little boys.
I disagree.
This kid at home can literally climb up the wall, climbs up the doorways and the door jams.
Oh, yeah, I used to do that.
They're like little spider monkeys.
I still say the best grip you'll find is amongst the elderly who want to talk to you.
Oh, no.
Because they get you in that lock.
That death grip.
Uncle Frank used to lock onto people's upper arm and be like, Jimmy needs to run for mayor of Hollywood. Like, let go. Frank, come on, I want to enjoy the barbecue. Like, you're not going anywhere.
That I buy.
They lose everything, but that grip goes last, man.
Well, the world, we were enamored by the grip, not of an action star over the weekend, but by a cat.
A cat, yeah. By the way, that's why we love American Ninja Warrior. That's 3/4 grip. They launch themselves. They grab the tire swing. You know,
yeah. Well, we were watching this video over the weekend. It was in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium.
I didn't see
Hurricanes,
that.
Miami versus Appalachian State Mountaineers. 10 minutes into the first quarter, this happens.
There is
a cat dangling off the rafters. And
like holding on like maybe a wire.
And everybody's just
now
watching.
He's one paw.
Yeah, that's one paw.
Obviously terrified. Falls.
Old Glory.
In the American flag. Yeah. So,
wow.
And the place goes wild. There's another angle we could play. We could play in the background too, Caitlin. This cat is alive. I mean, I'm sure traumatized.
Whose cat is this? The cat just wander in?
Sometimes cats just wander.
Yeah.
There's a lot of NFL, there's a skunk on the field and the Major League ball falls, spreads itself out perfectly. It's interesting. So the thing fell good 30 feet.
Yeah. Yes, 30 feet.
Yeah, well, I got good eyeballs.
Yeah, impressive.
Dwayne Wade's going nuts over there.
Fell 30 feet. It landed in the American flag, which was basically the hammock they set up to catch it.
Poetic.
But if you think about the instincts of the cat. The cat went full flying squirrel.
Yes.
So this whole thing is like, I have to make myself
wind
the
resistant.
least amount of aerodynamic possible. And then when I land, I'm going to see if I can distribute the force between all four paws and some of my rib cage. Like, spread it out.
Cats are kind of amazing.
You go foot first, you break paws.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that was awesome.
So some background. So it was caught
by
the heroes who caught the cat. University of Miami facilities manager Craig Cromer and his wife Kimberly. So they bring that flag to every game, hang it over the railing in front of their seats. Luckily, there was another couple who had a flag under their flag just for an extra cushion or just in case they missed. So everybody was watching this cat and so worried about it. Thank God they caught it. And then Craig and Kimberly went on TMZ yesterday and said, actually, also, it wasn't as glamorous as it looked for the people who caught it because the cat was peeing the whole time.
Really?
A steady stream.
Of course he would.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Lighten the load.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All instinct. I'm worried I'm becoming a cat guy now.
Now, what do you
what's to worry
do?
That's
I love cats. I've always loved cats. But what do you do with Old Glory? On the one
retire
hand,
it.
Well, it
Laminate
saved the
it.
cat.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's got cat piss all
I think
over
you're
it.
supposed to burn a flag.
You got to burn it.
when it's past its
Desecrated.
life. Yeah.
If it touches the ground, you're supposed to desiccate. You're supposed to burn
I'm
it.
not sure about that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I know it's not supposed to touch the ground, but that is a rule. It's supposed to have a light on it at night. Like there's a whole if the sun's down and the flag's not down, there's gonna be a light on it. There's all sorts
They
of
got rules. I don't know. You can look it up, Kaylin, if you're supposed to burn it if it touches the ground, or maybe when I was in Walter Reed Junior High, And for 1 week, I was on flag detail where they're like, here's how you fold it.
Mhm.
You fold it basically like the football. You flick with your
Right.
finger
Sure,
to go between the
triangle.
goalposts when you're bored, you know.
Ooh.
Everything in junior high is a triangle shape. But they said, don't let it touch the ground.
Yeah,
You let it
that's a
touch
big-
the ground, you got to
big
burn
penalty,
it. But that
big
could have just been Mr. Hensley not wanting us to fuck around.
True.
You know what I mean?
So if I'm if I get caught burning a flag, I just be like, oh, touch the
Yeah, touch
ground.
the ground.
I'm
yeah.
a patriot.
Right. So
I got a nominee for your list, for your bucket list, like things to accomplish. Maybe upon your death, have a flag presented to a loved one in triangular
yes.
shape.
Yes.
My grandpa had that.
Oh, he did.
He's a fire
'cause
captain, yeah.
He was a fire
Brian,
captain.
that would be stolen valor.
That's true.
you
Well,
do
you
not-
need to have to do
You have to
something
accomplish
hurt it.
something.
You don't have to burn it if it touches the ground, according to the internet.
But if
So-
a cat pees on it,
according to Mr. Walters, so good. They saved the cat. That's awesome. By the way, you couldn't pull that off with the gay flag, Gina. Let's be honest.
Well,
Talk to me about
that's
it's
the
just
American
not
flag.
structurally
It's just
strong
not.
enough. Yeah, it's
Plus, you think the cat would have agreed to that?
I understand.
Well, I thought
I don't know if
burning
a
it. There's
cat
already
can-
a flaming thing going on. You can't.
Well,
Yeah.
also chiffon isn't as strong.
Yeah. I'm pointing out the obvious, obviously.
Yeah.
Did he go on? They went on TMZ?
Yeah, they went on TMZ. And
What-
talked
you not
about
seen
it.
that?
What's to become of the cat?
Yeah, when did this happen? Because, listen.
Saturday.
Must have been the online
I got off
edition.
my TMZ because I was traveling and all that kind of stuff.
Must have been the
Yeah.
online edition.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's impressive that I found it's TMZ Live. If that, if that
Yeah, I don't
changes
watch
things.
that as religiously. All right, so they
Yeah.
saved the cat. That's
and,
good.
And they bring the flag to every game. I was like, and I was thinking about people who bring things to pro sports games or any sports games. Like, do you bring a glove when you go to a Giants game, Brian?
Not since I was 12.
Yeah, so
I mean, you're a kid. You're like, oh, this might be the day. But like, you're an adult. You're like, I
oh,
don't give a
plenty
shit.
of adults still go to games with gloves. Would you bring one, Adam?
Here's how I am. I have a weird thing with preparation, which is I have many versions of the pad for the chair in the stands or even the freestanding camping chair.
You do a lot of the things that involve benches. Bench
I have
seating.
70 versions of that. Never bring them out. Go to Natalia's volleyball game, sit on the hard extruded aluminum bleacher for 11 hours with my ass aching. And every time I get there, I go, what the fuck didn't I bring those things? They're in the garage. They're in the cabinet 2 feet in front of my car. I just never do. So I never bring
Shouldn't you have some in the
anything.
car?
I should just throw them in the car and just keep them there.
Very masochistic of you. But anyway, that cat was the most watched animal of the weekend.
Oh, according to the official stats?
Yes. Yeah, there's a statistic that comes out.
Did this make the ESPN highlight reel for sports?
Yeah, it was number 8.
As catches, yeah.
But number 2 was Cricket Dog, and there's this dog that was playing during a Saturday match, civil service north of Ireland versus Bredy Cricket Club. Dog comes out. I don't know what's happening in the cricket game.
Nobody does.
Dog got loose.
He got the ball! Oh, here we go. Now that is...
Commentators are loving it.
Yeah, anybody.
He's playing.
Now, there we go. Dog has stopped play. There we go. I think we retrieved the ball.
Where was
Made
this?
it
Ireland.
clean.
Very
Because
good
this
ball.
Australia, they would have shot the dog because of
Just thinking
COVID.
of that horrible stat I had to read about Australia's dog.
I didn't even know the puppy's part of that stat.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. So I just needed a little palate cleanser of some nice positive
That's
animals.
sweet.
Positive.
If you're ever going to let your dog do something, attach the leash first.
Yeah.
So if you're like you got a little snot-nosed neighbor kid,
Right.
and you want your dog to maul the kid, put the leash on and then send the dog out to do it. Like
He
you got
slept.
out. Oh, right.
Speaking of that, Chris, did you see the clip of everyone booing that ref because there's like a bat dog instead of like a bat boy, or like a ball dog, and the dog was so excited to get the bat, and the ref picks it up, the ump picks it up and throws it, and everybody starts booing the ref.
The ref sucks.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, well, Kaylin, I first off, I don't know the subjects we're going to get into when it involves Chris coming in here and doing the popular subjects, but the as long as we're going off about animals, I tweeted it out, but I filmed Phil.
Shaking in the pool?
Shaking in the pool
I missed that.
this morning. Yeah, he shakes himself dry while standing in the pool.
Not as smart as a cat.
No, and I
figure
took
it
a
out.
picture of that, but he doesn't care.
Well, I'm just saying that animals coming into sports games have they've had rich history, and it reminds me of here he is. Oh my God,
he's not just he is submerged while he's doing this.
He's up to mid rib up to the top of his shoulder, and he's shaking himself off while standing in a body of water.
He's 2/3 in.
Yeah. That's what that's Phil's move.
This is 30 minutes in. Yeah.
Thank God he's cute because he is so dumb.
He's goddamn dumb. But he has no timetable, so he can shake himself out in the pool, and then he can get out and shake himself out again, and then he can go back in the pool.
He has to be at work.
He doesn't have to be anywhere.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, it's been 20 years since the Randy Johnson incident of the bird.
You've seen this.
Gina, you have to know this.
Randy, we showed it once.
Where he hits,
Randy Johnson, spring training, throws a pitch, and just disintegrates a bird. That the odds of that are insane. Like in fact, this no pitch call is so well known that there are more Google search results for Randy Johnson bird than there are for Randy Johnson baseball.
Oh,
yeah. I think the bird was trying to commit suicide.
Yeah, suicide by pitcher.
Because when the big unit takes the mound, you get up onto the lighting rig on top of the stadium. You don't go anywhere near Randy Johnson. Yeah.
There's not a PETA member alive who could convict Randy Johnson. That was a force majeure.
Well, Randy Johnson used to hate anybody hate whenever it got brought up because he truly felt bad. Like he started organizations about it and stuff. Like he never wanted to talk about it. And then he's a photographer. He's actually a race photographer. I've seen him at the Long Beach Grand Prix a bunch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Sorry, Jesus. He's 6'10".
Yeah. He walks with these huge lenses, but he wears he's very casual looking, just wears the media outfit. So you can't even tell unless you know that guy's definitely a pro athlete. And his logo for his photography company is a dead bird, so he's now accepting it.
He's really embracing it.
Yeah, that's kind of how people are with their stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They always try to. It's like Bob Denver. After Gilligan's Island goes off the air, he doesn't want anyone to call him, "Hey, little buddy."
Right.
You know what I mean? He's getting away from it. 15 years goes by, he's at the boat show.
Yeah,
wearing the old
center.
outfit, right? That's how people work.
My uncle Wonka, who did all the collecting, he had a autographed picture by the two players in the picture, Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura. Now, if you all know the Nolan Ryan-Robin Ventura incident, Nolan Ryan beat the shit out of Robin Ventura on the pitcher's mound.
Right.
And Robin Ventura happily signed it. At a certain point, you're like, I haven't.
Yeah, got him in a headlock and start throwing uppercuts.
All right, let's move away from sports for a little bit. I had a great time with you at Royal Oak and Kansas City, Adam. I don't know if you knew this, but both theaters required proof of vaccination or COVID tests. And we actually did get some complaints from people who didn't go because of that. And it kind of ties into kind of what's going on in the comedy world in some sense. Patton Oswalt was trending last week. He canceled a few of his tour dates, mainly in Florida, 4 of them in Florida, 1 in Utah, because they wouldn't comply with the tour's COVID safety requirements, which is negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours or proof of vaccination.
That's fuck me money.
Well, and he tweeted I'm sorry, I tried to work with the theaters. I tried to work with them. So he really, it was put upon the theaters instead.
Well, in being consistent, he can do whatever he wants, and Joe Rogan can do whatever he wants in the opposite direction. That's the way this country works, I'm sure Patton is obviously vaccinated, so he doesn't really have to worry about him. My general take is the people who are vaccinated are fine, and I would argue that, God, what percentage, if you took that population of we're going to go see Patton Oswalt, I got to believe we're in the mid-90s in terms of vaccination.
Oh, easily.
Now you could go but you go Kid Rock or Ted Nugent or maybe Joe Rogan. Now you're going another direction there. But I would argue that they are vaccinated. He's vaccinated. He should probably go do it anyway. But up to him, just like it's up to Joe Rogan. Do whatever you want.
Right, yeah. So Joe Rogan actually went public saying, I don't want that at my shows, and then famously caught COVID a couple weeks ago.
A few too many. My feeling is we're living in an era where everyone is taking a stand. I say few too many stands being taken. My feeling is I just played 2 venues where the theater mandated the vaccine. I don't care. Before that, we're playing Minneapolis. It was a packed club. I mean, quite a bit smaller than those theaters. And talk about headspace, man. I mean, there was 350
Intimate.
people. This other thing. As far as I could tell, they had no protocol. Don't care. I just show up.
Yeah.
That's me. I got
Just
a little.
move on.
I don't know. I only have so much energy to expend for everything.
I agree with the taking a stance thing. What's with the people who are going to such crazy lengths to like falsify documents? And it's like, you know, it's a lot easier. Just get the fucking shot. Like, you don't have to create or acquire a fake card and then fill it out and then go to jail and pay the fine. It's like, you know, it's a lot easier than that.
I think it's all about people not wanting to be bullied into something. That's what's going on.
Well, I agree.
I don't
Taking a
think it's
stance.
about. I don't think it's about ease of anything anymore.
Obviously.
Yeah. It's more just I don't want to be told what to do, and this is kind of my way of being a little like I don't know if it's being defiant, but it's just
I feel that way about front license plates in California. Like I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And if I get busted, I'll Velcro it onto the sports car and pull it off after it gets signed off on. I understand that, but magnets. But then, see, there's also the down. Well, not I don't know if it's the downside, but. You take somebody like Dr. Drew. Fauci got cornered the other day by Sanjay Gupta, who asked a real question 18 months in and basically asked him about immunity from being infected with COVID and natural immunity. And Fauci's like, well, we got to get back to you on that. I don't know why he's not looked into that, but okay, fine. Fauci has no thoughts about that. See, it's bullshit. Here's the thing. Drew had it. He had it badly. He has the T cells and the immunity. He has all that, but he wants to travel and he wants to go abroad. So he has to get something that he probably shouldn't get because he has natural immunity, which is much more effective, or at least it's coming out from Israel that it's quite a bit more effective than the vaccine, which you have to kind of reboot all the time. But there's going to be a fair amount of people just going, I had it, I have natural immunity, but I want to go to New York, or my sister's wedding's coming up, and the venue requires a fuck it. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot of that coming up as well.
Yeah, agreed. Well, as far as Joe Rogan, so a lot of celebrities are also commenting on how he's been handling it with the ivermectin. Russell Brand says that the media seemed to initially take delight that he had coronavirus and wanted him to suffer as a result of it. And then Howard Stern, of course, this week saying that he should have just gotten vaccinated instead of taking the ivermectin.
Howard seems to be a huge germaphobe and also like really taking hard stances on this. I didn't realize, is he kind of Howie Mandel-ish? He says he hasn't left his house. He wouldn't go to the neighbors to sit outside with the neighbors.
He's Howard Mandelish. He's a great civil rights leader. He's also a germaphobe.
In prison,
falsely in prison for all those years for a crime he didn't commit.
Right.
Howard Mandelish. Yeah. He has the, Jewish neurotic kind of thing going on. I remember some months ago when he was quarantining his equipment, before they made him a home studio and little stories like that suggested he took it a lot more seriously than, let's say, Joe Rogan.
Well, he's still doing the show from home.
Yeah, there's a couple. First off, who really knows how much is COVID averse versus I like doing the show in my house. Yeah. I mean, I get to go down. I mean, we all know that I used to do. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
It's quite the ramp up.
Not only that, but I was just thinking about this today. I used to do Stern show.
Carolla's excited.
In the early days, I would do it from Westwood 1 in Culver City. Brian knows exactly. Gina knows where that is. I lived in the Hollywood Hills, like under the Hollywood sign.
Not even a freeway you can take.
It was a trek to get there. His mics heated up at 6 a.m. New York time, 3 a.m. our time. I punched out at 12:05 from Loveline in the same studio, Westwood 1. I drove back to L.A. I've told you guys, I get home about 12:30, go to bed about 1:30, wake up about 2:30, get back in the
same
car.
cleaning crew.
Yeah, by the way, this is why you guys all need to spare me your fucking stories. Like, oh man, I went to Oklahoma City. It's a 2-hour time difference. 2 hours, man. I didn't know where I was.
My body's not acclimated.
I missed 2 days of work. Like, fuck that, you pussies. I would come home at 12:30, and I needed to be back in Culver City at 3 a.m. when the mic heated up. So I'd sleep for an hour, get right back up, hustle it back down over there, and then of course
should have done the Kimmel thing, the bunk bed in the office.
I know.
Went home.
Then I would finish the show. He would finish his show our time at about 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd walk out and it'd be daylight.
Yeah,
Like,
blinded.
oh my God! Oh, then I remember I would have to fight traffic now because it was morning traffic getting from Culver City back to. Then it was like, I know it's 9. I'm drinking wine. I would just drink wine and then pass out at some point. But then I had to go to the man show,
of course.
So the point is,
you're an alcoholic.
The point is this: at some point, they got me a Zephyr. Mm-hmm. The Zephyr was a size of an attaché case.
ISDN line.
And I plugged that Zephyr into my room, into my office. Mm-hmm. And the delight of going to bed at 1:30 and not having to get up until 2:50, 2:55. You really sleep in.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Like a king.
And I could sleep in. But here was the whole thing. It wasn't the extra 25 minutes of sleep. It was... I'm just going to get my sweatpants, walk across this hall, plop down, and I'm going to do my shit. And the notion of going, oh, it's a commercial break, I'm going to get some coffee. I'm going to go downstairs, open my fridge, pour myself something, walk back up again. Soon as the mics go cold, I can take a shower, go get something, or go do
nibble off last night's whatever.
Yes, you quickly embrace that. That is not the commute or getting up a little earlier. That is just a different lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And it very quickly you go, oh, I could get used to this. And then you have to weigh in like, well, then what's the sacrifice? Like, are you better when you're Westwood One than at home with the Zephyr?
For you, it must not have been much difference. You're remote either way. Like for us, it's like, oh, in person, which is always better versus.
Yeah, all I remember is the office I was in was all hardwood floors and just cabinetry and painted walls. And I called in once, or I checked the mic, and Howard's like, where are you, in a trash can or something? So I had my office chair directly under a ceiling fan, a big, like a 4-foot wide one. And all I did was take a bunch of beach towels and laundry like clip them to the wings, and I'd create this circle, and I would enter the cone of silence. Like in the morning, open the beach towel, climb into it, and then just sit in there. So
deaden it a little
I
bit.
get the again, COVID. A lot of people are doing this with work. They've sort of realized
we know we can
I'm
do
over
it.
the COVID part. I got the vax, but.
Yeah,
seem to be getting a lot done in my sweatpants.
It was actually funny because the other day, Howard's doing it from home, and Steve Martin and Martin Short are in his studio.
Oh, because they're doing press.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
You want?
I'll do one.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's go to the VMAs. VMAs were last night. And music videos, still a huge thing. I know we don't get to see them on TV a lot, but they get more views than ever because of YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know a music video director, and I asked him. I was like, oh, that like, what's the difference? Because he's done videos for both TV and then online. It's like online's way better. Maybe he has to say that, but just the billions of views.
It's probably easier
online.
to track. Everyone can see how many downloads.
I mean, they're not to us. They don't feel like they're as culturally significant. Like you guys mentioned, like the Blind Melon video.
It's
like
a touchstone for everyone our age. Yeah.
Everybody knows it. But I mean, I don't know how kids watch videos these days. But anyway, Conor McGregor and Machine Gun Kelly got into it.
Really?
Yeah. I know. I'm basically your TMZ right now, Adam.
I know. I heard about Madonna's ass. That's all I heard about.
Well, let's watch Conor. I don't have that ready, but here's Conor, and he's a firecracker, so you could just see him throwing some stuff at Machine Gun Kelly here.
What?
Yeah. So I think it was a drink. What was that?
Popcorn or
popcorn drink?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, so people were asking about it. Machine Gun Kelly refused to speak about it. And then Conor McGregor said this about the incident.
What happened? Absolutely nothing. I don't know. I just showed up and I don't know. I don't even know the guy, to be honest with you.
Just rumors.
Just rumours. Nothing happened with me. I only fight real fighters, people that actually fight. You know what I mean? I certainly don't fight little vanilla boy rappers. You know, I don't even know the guy. I don't know anything about
Called
him.
Machine Gun Kelly a
Except that
Vanilla
he's making
Ice
fucks.
white boy rapper.
Are we leading up to a fight? This is pathetic.
I know it seems a little cooked. I don't know, but they're totally leading into it. Well, at least Conor McGregor is. But the reason I want to bring this up, Machine Gun Kelly, you know who he's dating,
Megan
Fox, and you
heard she was like naked.
Oh, put her up.
Whoa!
This is what she was wearing.
Yeah, shades of Rose McGowan.
Yes.
Very.
Yeah,
It was a tribute.
She's wearing basically a very small bikini.
Sheer.
And with a whole sheer sort of netting over it.
Yeah, you've seen her in person, Adam, when she
I
was
have.
with Bryan Austin Green.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Every bit as good, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Tell us.
Yeah, I don't know. She's hot. There's hot people. I don't know. I get if you're banging her, it's a good thing, but it's sort of novelty that she's hot.
Yeah.
There's always been good-looking
throwback.
people.
Like the Coors commercials. It's like, you could just be hot and be like successful at a certain era.
Yeah.
Is she rocking a G-string or what's going on in the back?
Yeah, Kaylin, show us. Well, we don't have that, but I do have a little nod.
Also, I'm kind of off her because what she did in Transformers with the engine, saying it was a double pumper high rise instead of cross ram injection, that got me off.
I feel like she didn't write it.
I don't know. I like to think
She
everyone
meant
in
it.
the movie kind of does their own lines. We can ask Frank when he pops on.
He become it. Well, anyway, Lil Nas was wearing an interesting outfit as well.
How many movies you made, Gina?
None.
I made quite a few.
Okay.
Okay,
Is that
continue.
how they do it?
Continue.
Well,
That's how we do it.
Here's Lil Nas fishing for a compliment on his outfit and getting denied.
I'm happy. I look good. I look a little good.
Listen, I'm not going to say I'm hating on the fit, but let's move on, okay? Now, in 2019...
Damn!
Wow. Maria Menounos has some notes.
That was pretty great. And then let's see. Oh, and I wanted to bring up Doja Cat. Doja Cat, rapper, hosted the VMAs and wore a bunch of...
Doja Cat should have dove into American flags.
Yeah.
That would have been smart.
They could have turned that around that quickly. But I just have a few of her outfits that she put on. I don't know if these look good or not. I kind of like them. I don't know why.
Really?
But yeah, I don't. But I can't tell if these are amazing or not. Like,
They're interesting, I guess.
Yeah. It's like
Gina, go ahead.
What are we looking at?
You know what? Just the color and the shape of it remind me of Tungus.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Too
Tungus-y,
much
yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very Tungus-esque.
Do it side by side.
Yeah. It's got a little animated creature, whatever. I mean, it's fine. I always just think I always think about these women because once every 3 years, I don't know, maybe for Katie's wedding, I got to put a suit on. Remember, I remember doing the Oscars, put the tuxedo on, put the patent leather shoes, and your mind immediately goes to, well, what about the after party? We're going to have a little bit of fun, and I got to wear suspenders, confined with a cummerbund.
Yeah.
I always think that's literally just wearing a suit, and I'm already doing the movement math. How I got to walk in these shoes. I can't
And the
imagine
distance math. How far I got to walk.
Yeah.
Right, can't imagine what these women have to do with this shit.
Unbelievable. I wasn't wrong, by the way, if you look at this picture
Yeah,
of Tungus.
Tungus.
Oh yeah, that is pretty good actually.
you.
And then, like when you guys watch like the Met or anything like that, or just see
Yeah,
outfits,
the gala.
Nice try,
the Met.
Chris.
Oh, okay, man.
You guys.
I passed. Can you guys tell if it's like a great outfit or not?
I mean, I think it's all subjective, but like when the last Met Gala they did, it was like whatever was supposed to be campy or whatever, and people love the showmanship. Everyone dresses like a life-size Barbie, and everybody claps.
All right, let's bring it home, Chris.
That was Trending Topics. Thanks for having me.
His real name's
Frank Grillo is going to join us momentarily. First, I'll tell you about MD Hearing Aid. Having trouble hearing my nuggets of wisdom? Try MD Hearing Aid. FDA registered rechargeable hearing aid. Average price of a hearing aid's over $2,400 a pair. Volt Plus models are just $299.99, and each when you buy a pair. Rechargeable with up to 30 hours of battery life. Water resistant and up to 3 foot of water. No prescription or doctor's appointment necessary. Buy direct They have licensed hearing specialists available 7 days a week, 600,000 plus satisfied customers. Also, I should tell you, Edward in New Jersey says MD Hearing Aid is the best he's used at any price. 45-day risk-free trial and 100% money-back guarantee. Right, Dawson?
It's time to reclaim your life from hearing loss. Go to mdhearingaid.com and use promo code Adam to get their buy one, get one for $299.99 each offer. Plus, they are adding a free extra charging case, $100 value, just for listeners at the Adam Carolla Show. So head to mdhearingaid.com and use our promo code Adam, or you can even call them at 1-855-936-5603. That's 1-855-936-5603.
Well, we've talked about him before. Now we're going to talk to him in person. Frank Grillo, action star, will be on the program right after this. Frank Grillo has joined us. The new movie Cop Shop in theaters. That is this Friday. Co-stars Gerard Butler and written and directed by Joe Carnahan, who's been a guest on the show a few times. Good to see you, Frank.
Hello.
I've been a fan of yours for a while. I'm glad we finally made this happen and got you on the program. I think we have some history in common. We both used to do a little boxing back in the day.
Yeah, I'm same thing. I've everybody keeps telling me, why have not you and Adam Carolla talk to each other? I know we have a lot of mutual friends, too.
We definitely do. So I'm glad we made this happen. Congratulations on Cop Shop. I saw the trailer. Gene and Bryan saw the film. I did not. My link screwed up, but the trailer's amazing. So I'll let Gene and Bryan heap a little. Well, Bryan, heap a little praise on Cop Shop, and then we'll move on.
You know, it was what it was, Gina. No, I loved it. I liked it.
By the way, you're exactly right. I mean, it is what it is.
It's a very fun movie.
In the best possible way. I saw, I looked it up, like, oh, Joe Carnahan and Frank Grillo. I'm into it. I'll give it a shot. Exceeded my expectations. It kind of starts out a little tropey. You're like, okay, I know who this person is. I know who this character is. I know what this is. But by the middle, it's like a real cat and mouse movie. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is an antagonist who comes halfway through the movie who is just a delight. I want a whole movie about this person.
He steals the movie. Yeah, he and Alexis Louder steal the movie. Me and Butler are two shitheads.
So, Frank, I want to talk about your amazing fitness regimen. And also, as I was thinking about it, traditionally, if you're going to start coming into your action prime, if it doesn't rear its head by 33 or 34, usually that ship has sailed. But we're living in a new world filled with keto diets and Grecian formula where everybody has you never say never anymore. But tell us your workout regimen. Tell us how you get Frank's in fantastic shape, but
I am in exceptional shape. No, I primarily have a boxing workout. I train with my buddy Justin Fortune, who trains Manny Pacquiao every day. We train 2 hours. I train like a professional fighter. I eat like I would be fighting. And I keep in really good shape. I speaking of keto, I'm basically a paleo guy. I drink a lot of wine, a lot.
Now you're talking. Mm-hmm. Well, you're Italian, you have to.
That's paleo-ish.
So, but other than that, I mean, it's what it is. I don't eat a lot. I don't eat very much. I'm not an overeater. I come from a really fat, disgusting Italian family, and. So it was kind of, I was Pavlovian. I just can't eat. It just makes me sick.
I come from a thin, disgusting Italian family, so
that has no regard for food.
I'll meet you halfway. But yeah, I tell people that all the time. You eat way too much. Not you, but one does. And there's all these kind of wives' tales where, they always. Anytime somebody tries to draw an analogy to an automobile, they're always wrong. They go like, well, you wouldn't leave on vacation with nothing in the tank, would you? It's like, no, you wouldn't drive to the Grand Canyon on an empty tank, would you?
Put it that way.
And then at some point they'll get to the toxins in the radiator, building up with the toxins. You got to flush it out.
You need an oil change.
You got to put a hose up your ass and fill it full of coffee. That's how you flush the radiator. You get the toxins out of the radiator. But We've spoken. I can't remember the gentleman we're speaking to on this show, but he runs marathons with no breakfast. Yes.
Nothing.
Gets up, has a cup of coffee, runs a marathon.
Yeah, I think it was taking me.
Right. That's
same. I train empty. I don't do it. I don't like having food in my stomach. It clouds your brain too. You get a little foggy, you know. I have more energy from not. You don't realize how much shit you have stored in your body.
Right.
And I have more energy and I think better too, and I'm not filled with nonsense.
Gasoline gets into the battery, and it's bad news.
That's right. Yeah. No. It was a weird thought, but I know it from when I used to do construction. So when I was poor and I was a bachelor, and I would get up in the morning, I didn't have time for making an omelet. You know what I mean? So it was always just granola, and then the granola tasted like shit. So it was like skim milk or non-fat milk, granola, and then you'd put a bunch of honey or something on it.
All wrong.
And you just do this huge carb dump, right? And then I would drive to work at 6:30 in the morning, and by 9 or 10 in the morning, I felt like I'd been shot with a curare dart in the neck. Like I wasn't bored. I was having trouble keeping my eyes open. Yeah. And people don't realize what carbs do to you. They make you sleepy during the day. They bring it. So
like sugar in the gas tank.
Like sugar in the gas. You wouldn't do that.
Finally.
So I don't think people really understand. And as a matter of fact, they think the opposite, which is if you're going to go swing a hammer all day, you got to put something in the tank. You got to run off of that energy.
You definitely shouldn't watch Toddlers and Tiaras. They drink something called Tinker Tea, which is Red Bull, and they put pixie sticks in it for the little girls.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's abuse.
No, but that's what happened after the Industrial Revolution. People decided they needed to eat like pigs. And we all got really fat.
Yes.
Evidently dumb.
So what is just because I always ask all the super in shape people kind of their regimen, what is your normal day for Frank Grillo in terms of eating?
Normally, like today, I wake up. Today I had my kids. I'm a single dad, so today I had one of my kids. So I wake up, I take care of him, take him to school, feed him, blah, blah, blah. I go to the gym. I wear a sauna suit, which is a rubber sweatsuit, so you keep everything in. I train for about 45 minutes, bag work and stuff, jump rope, get in the ring, work with my trainer for about 45 minutes to an hour, get out. Then we do strength and conditioning, which is weights. One thing really heavy and then like a circuit. And that's my life every day. When I'm on a movie, I usually have a trainer with me. And, I make sure I have time to do that. If I have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
What do you wear in the bag suit? I mean, like a wrestler trying to cut weight or a fighter trying to make weight, just to sweat it off?
I grew up wrestling when I was a kid through college, and then did jiu-jitsu and competed and stuff. I love the idea of overheating my body. And actually and this is, I'm sure, a bunch of bullshit. My doctor has said to me that he believes, because I've been exposed to a lot of COVID. I got a buddy who's comedian, Bryan, who came back, had COVID, gave it to my girlfriend, his kids, and I didn't get it. And then my girlfriend had it. I still didn't get it. My doctor actually thinks there's something to be said for overheating your body.
Oh, interesting.
To be fair to Bryan, he didn't have sex with all of those people.
Right.
Just to be fair.
Yeah. Close contact.
I'm trying to think of that stuff. When I used to box, they had a cream called Abilene.
Yeah, Abilene. I use Abilene as well. And basically it's petroleum jelly, and it blocks your pores from being able to breathe, and your body you raise your body temperature. Right. Which is actually really good for you. It's actually good for you. We have, I don't want to sound scientific because I'm not, but we have something called brown fat cells, which stores fat, which never really gets used. And that's a way to get your brown fat cells working. Mm-hmm. And you use all that stored energy.
Man.
Oh, shit.
Brian, speaking of brown fat cells, what's the name of that comedian who collapsed?
That was Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence. Oh, yeah, Martin Lawrence.
You brought it up. I said the
That's
name.
racist shit.
Yeah, he had one on.
He bagged up and collapsed, jogging on a hot day.
It had nothing to do with the 8 ball of cocaine.
No.
Gotta get going.
Sorry, go ahead.
One of the things I was most impressive about the movie Cop Shop was you're a physical guy. You know, you do well in physical movies. Boss Level was awesome, by the way. You were super in that. But in this movie, not only are you wearing the long sleeve shirt and the vest the whole time, you're basically in a cell for 75% of your scenes. Like, you had to rely on your acting as opposed to the physicality, which of course is an aspect. You know what I'm saying? You got away from that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, the movies that I do a lot of pay me really well. And, I'm a father of 3 kids and I'm divorced and they're fun to do and I can do them kind of falling off a log. But when some stuff like I'm going to play Lamborghini, I'm going to Rome, Italy Wednesday to play with Lamborghini.
What?
Yeah. I'm going to play Lamborghini. I'm Ferruccio Lamborghini.
Ferruccio Lamborghini? Are you what? How come this isn't on my rundown? I got a million thoughts about Lamborghini.
Let him finish his thought.
I know.
Sorry.
And Bobby Moresco, who wrote Crash, wrote the script. It's phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually scared shitless to go do it. But, it's fun to get away from all the physical stuff. It's fun to kind of just not have to sweat when you're working all the time.
Yeah.
Well, now we got to talk about Lamborghini because I've owned 6 vintage Lamborghinis over the course of my life.
Gene, I'll meet you by the coffee.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
I had 2 Miura S's, 1 Miura SV, if you want to get out the Abilene and rub one out.
Right,
I've had a 350, which is his first car.
First car, yeah.
And then I had a 400. I've had 2 400 2+2s, which is the next car. And
if you saw James Franco's perfume ad,
you saw the car.
James Franco borrowed my 350 to do some Dior ad or something.
Do you still have all those cars?
No, well, I have one Lamborghini 400. The Miuras I had to sell to pay for Paul Newman's 935 Porsche that he ran at Le Mans. So I had to sell some.
Oh my God!
To get some. And you can come over. We're in the Valley. You can come by and take a look at them anytime you want.
Miura's like the perfect sports car. That's the car, right?
Yeah, the most beautiful.
I'm actually going to Emilia Romagna, where he's from, to shoot the first half of the movie, and then we go to Rome. But I'm kind of a mutt. Like, I'm going to play another human being, like an iconic, him, Ferruccio Lamborghini, and it's a little daunting. I'm a little nervous.
I'll assuage your fears for a second. If you're going to do a movie, let's say Ford v Ferrari, and then you're Matt Damon, and you got to play Carroll Shelby. A lot of people know Carroll Shelby. There's a lot of footage of him being interviewed and pictures and things like that. And then it's a tall order. Ferruccio Lamborghini, everyone knows the name Lamborghini, but no one's going to go, that's not Lamborghini.
That's not the Lamborghini I know.
That's why I'm doing the movie, because when I started to do the deep dive and check out who Ferruccio Lamborghini was, I'm like, there's like 6 pictures of him. One is on a tractor. I'm like, that's it. He's not Enzo Ferrari, the sexy industrialist.
Right. Well, Lamborghini famously was an industrialist who built tractors and made a lot of money in Italy selling tractors. He got rich, and when you get rich in Italy, you got to buy a Ferrari.
Right.
So he bought a Ferrari, but he didn't like the way, I think the thing kept going through clutches.
The clutch.
And the story is he dropped the transmission in it and found out it was the same clutch they were using on his tractors. And this guy's rich and he's a builder. So he goes to Ferrari and he goes, hey, I got a few notes on how you could improve your product.
And you are.
Ferrari being Ferrari tosses him out of his office. And then he goes, well, now we're going to build a car that's going to beat the Ferrari, or it's going to be a better car than the Ferrari. Yep. And now we have the Lamborghini, and we should thank, I always say this, we should thank, everyone's kind of like, well, Ferrari was kind of a hard head and a bit of an asshole and blah, blah, blah. We have Ferrari. We can thank Ferrari for Ferrari. We can also thank him for Lamborghini because he created it, and we can thank him for the Ford GT40.
That's right.
Because if he didn't piss off Ford, they wouldn't have wanted to beat him at Le Mans. We would not have he's created so many great cars, either through his own hands or being a douche.
Yep.
Feel free to use that.
No, that's exactly the story. That's the basis of, that's the genesis of my half of the movie is that exact story. And Alec Baldwin was going to be Ferrari, which is odd, but he had some scheduling problems. So I'm waiting to find out who Ferrari is going to be.
Jonah Hill, I just read on the internet.
It's going to be Jonah Hill.
No, so what do you show? I've always loved these stories. I've known the stories, had the old Lamborghinis and everything. I always thought these were very interesting stories, but Hollywood was always kind of like, we're not doing car stuff. We'll do Fast and Furious, whatever, but we're not doing like real stories. But then maybe Ford v. Ferrari kind of opened the door to some of this. I think they're working maybe there's a Shelby biopic. I did a Shelby documentary and a Ford versus Ferrari kind of documentary before the movie and all that kind of stuff. So I've always kind of been on it. But I think the success of that movie has kind of opened this up.
Yeah, and this is a straight away, look, it's about a guy who sacrificed his entire life to make the best car, right? But it's pretty much straight away what you just said. Like that was the genesis of what made this guy turn into Lamborghini. And it's about him and his family and blah, blah, blah. But it is a straight drama about Lamborghini. And, with me, like it's not, George Clooney. I mean, it's like not an easy sell.
Well, I haven't looked at the archival photos, but I don't think Lamborghini was jacked. So
you're gonna have to wear some layers.
I'm gonna wear clothes.
Yeah.
Boom! You just lost the ladies, Frank.
And I'm not very big. I'm only 160 pounds. So
you weigh 10 pounds more than me.
But are you going to, not go, full metal jacket with D'Onofrio, but are you going to let yourself go a little bit?
Christian Bale,
you know what I mean?
Plump up a little.
Plump up a little.
Here's the deal. So this came about last week. I have to go to Rome Wednesday. This came about last week. Banderas had to drop out of the movie because his movie ran late and he has a conflict. So my agents at CAA called and said, "You're being offered this Lamborghini role. Banderas can't do it." I'm like, who did you just call? It's me. Like, what? And I sending the script. And Bobby Moresco, who won an Oscar for Crash, wrote the script. And I'm like, wait a minute, you sure you want me to do this? And I talked to him. He goes, I think you're actually better than Banderas for this. I'm glad he dropped out. You're Italian and there's something about you. I think, I went, he said, this guy had a screw loose and I think you have a screw loose as well. Right. This might work out.
Stop there.
I don't have enough time to even, I have an accent. I speak a little bit of Italian, and I don't have to speak Italian. It's got broken English, but I'm not worried about that. But it's just the thought of, like you said, it's a good thing no one knows this guy. I get to do whatever I want, really.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting.
Did you have a conversation with your agent, which would have been the first any actor ever had with his agent, which is, all right, I'll do Lamborghini. Give me a few weeks to get out of shape. You got to buy me 3 weeks.
Also, that's a good bucket list for you, Adam, and your agent calling and saying, Banderas can't do it. We need you.
Yes.
Well, here's the funny part. I, up until last week, was leaving for Malta on Friday last week to go do this kind of Born Identity movie. So I'm in really good shape. I've been training for 3 months. And in the 11th hour, the movie fell apart. And so it's over. And so then I was clear and I got this call to go do this. And I'm like, well, I probably don't. I mean, am I going to have my clothes on? Off at all? They go, no, you're not going to have your clothes off. You'll be dressed. So it doesn't really make a difference. But it does. It's funny, Adam, you say that because when you're in a certain shape, you kind of carry yourself a certain way. You know what I mean? It's like,
sure.
Yeah. I wish I wasn't. I wish I was a little pudgy.
Well, from your mouth to God's ears. I mean, I could come over and coach you up on that. Or come by and watch football with us on Sunday. There's nothing but fun. Pringles and Entenmann's and IPAs flowing.
What if you rebranded yourself as the anti-fitness coach?
Yeah,
that's your new career path.
Well, I'd be like those.
You're in good shape.
I'm in okay.
I know, he's the coach.
I'm in okay enough shape, but I don't do as I do as I say, or something like
Those
that.
that can't do teach.
You should give him the free tip that you use. Always wear your bathrobe around and put a beer in each pocket.
That's how we get started.
I don't have a bathrobe, but I'll get
problem number one.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this new offering, this Lamborghini offering, and yes,
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you're not laughing at me.
no. First off, I've owned his first car, the 350, the GT 350 or the 350 GT is the first car he ever built. That's the one he went to say Ferrari. And because I'm a gearhead, I've studied the car, and it's really clear, which is, and I won't get into the weeds too far here, but the Ferraris of the time had V12s, and he had a V12. But these were the Ferraris were like the Ferrari Lusso. You know, it had 3 carburetors and 2 cams. Lamborghini has 6 carburetors and 4 cams.
Gina, stop passing him notes.
Like, he literally just went, whatever you're doing, I'm doing it better.
I'm doing it better. And because he wanted a 3.5 liter engine, they didn't know how they were. And they only had 6 months to get to the Geneva Auto Show with this car, and it wasn't even thought of yet. Except he knew he needed to stuff all that in a car in a 3.5 liter engine.
Yeah, whereas the Ferrari would have been a 3 liter at the time.
Yeah, but it's fascinating. Like the guy, he thought anything was possible. Anything, whatever. Like he would, and he stole all the engineers from Alfa, from Ferrari, from Maserati, and they said it's impossible. It's impossible to do this. And he goes, "Why? We can do this."
He was
did it.
Sort of Elon Musk paisan. Right. Now, were you doing Jay Leno's Garage? Were you doing an appearance on that?
I did it. Yeah, we did a whole day where we played like me and Jay were in an action movie. And Chevy, they have this new truck that they sold to the government that replaces the Humvee. And they brought that down for us to use. So it was really kind of cool. But, that guy knows more about cars. I mean, you probably know as much about cars than he does.
No, I don't. I don't. Nobody knows as much about Jay. Jay knows about cars, I should say.
It's crazy. I said, how many cars do you have? He said, registered?
The thing about Jay, and this is kind of how it goes, you can talk to car guys. But car guys, pardon the pun, pick a lane, and so they're the Mopar guys, and they know they know more. They know Dodge, and they know 440 6-packs and Hemis and Challengers and Chargers. As soon as you start talking to them about old Lamborghinis, they don't know jack shit, or 510 Datsuns. They don't know jack. Well, Jay is interested in all cars.
All things on wheels.
So he's got electric cars that are 110 years old. He's got steam-powered cars. He takes it all the way through. American, European, Japanese, it doesn't matter. He didn't declare major. Most guys who know a lot about cars, they know about one kind of car or one make, and then as much as the average person about all the other cars, even less sometimes.
And bikes. He knows bikes.
Bikes.
Got a bunch of bikes, too. I mean, it's fast. I believe that he did the Jay Leno show seriously just to buy all the cars that he needed.
Yeah, and he had a pretty bad coke problem. But a lot of that money, some of that money did go to cars. Frank is right. Yes, he's crazed, and he knows so much about it, and he knows I know about it, and then he speaks to me in a shorthand, and it's so deep, I don't even understand what he's talking about. So
that's great.
He is a damn treasure. So for you got to be thinking about getting something cool in your garage. As long as we're talking about cars,
it's so funny because I'm such a poor kid. Like I grew up poor, and I'm so afraid of not having money that the idea of spending money on an extravagance like that is so kind of far fetched. Did you see the movie Boss Level?
Yes.
You know that car? There's that Hellcat that's chopped.
Yes.
So God sent me one of those, and I chopped it. It's in my garage, and so I have this hot rod that has no top. It's a Roadster.
Hold on, for Gina and her fans, chopped means lowering the roof.
Oh, they didn't just take a hacksaw to it?
Yes, they just take 3 inches out of. They drop the roof line on it.
But I'm imagining when I go to Italy, because I'm going to go to the factories and stuff, and I'm going to go to his home. I'm going to want to buy a Lamborghini.
That's a write-off. That's field research.
Yes.
But I don't want I don't want one of the Lamborghinis that like my neighbors up here in Doheny drive.
Right.
I want what you had, like those, one of those cars, one of those classic cars. But I don't know. They're ridiculously expensive.
All right. Well, here's the price breakdown if you want to talk to your accountant after the show. The Miura SV, who knows? $3 million, $3.5 million. That's up there. Miura P, first one, or Miura S. They swap around a little. The S's used to be more than the P's. Now, not so much. $1.5 to $2 million for those. But the 350, the first car, still out there for $550 to $650.
Really?
Yeah, they're not as much as they should be. They should be $1 million car. They're not. They've hovered around $500,000 for a couple of years now. So you can get a good a good 350 GT, the first car, for I'd say anywhere between $5 and $675, depending on the example. And the 2+2, which almost looks exactly the same as the 350, it's just a 4-liter. It's got a back seat. I'd say $335 to $550, depending on the example.
Okay. So now I know now I know where I'm going. Now I know
Start with that. All right. You want to hang out, Frank, and do the news with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and do the news with Frank Grillo right after this.